We call on our ancestors to join us at this service. Joseph Boutte, Reginald Boutte, Augustine Green, John Green,
Askodom Gabrihet, Gesai Askodom, Masfin Askodom, Amleset Gabrihet, and Alam Beltkin.
And we ask those ancestors. Okay, first of all, I'm supposed to say Ashe. So we called on the ancestors, so say Ashe. And now I pour libations to the ancestors.
That's why it's not good to have your spirit open, even in a funeral, because when the devil gets through with one person, leaping demons, leaping demons, leaping demons, leap from place to stay in the region. Leap from your daddy to your son, to your uncle, to your cousin, leaping demons. You think it's about you. What you fighting didn't start with you. Go back in your family. That devil's been in that territory for a long time. He doesn't want to leave the region.
You confused. Wake up, my brother. Know yourself.
Jesus Christ.
So quickly, I want to make a video on why it's important to feed the ancestors, and by feeding I do mean communicating with them, and also by literal food through your offerings and stuff. This is something I couldn't go to sleep on, so I'm like, let me do this video real quick. So the ancestors made something clear to me. If you do not feed them, they will feed on you. And what they mean by that is that one of the things that they really wanted me to point out in making this video is that the ancestors that you knew in this realm, let's just say, I don't know, your great aunt, your grandfather, your grandmother. For me, like my great grandmother, for example, she only died 2 years ago. So I knew her well. So that's one of the main people that I communicate with. My grandfather, some years back, but I knew him, you know what I mean? So these are people that I knew and I'm comfortable speaking with and comfortable offering things to, and they do help me. They do things for me as well. When you don't feed them, when you don't communicate with them, when you ignore them, in the sense whether you're doing it intentionally or unintentionally, they wanted me to bring up the idea or the fact that like black people are always like, oh, the devil has it out for me today. The devil tried to do this, Satan tried to do that, and this ain't go my way. Ooh, the devil just putting traps. You know, all this stuff, that silly stuff that black people be saying. The ancestors are like, get real. It's us. You don't feed us. Like, we're hungry. The same things, like for real. My great-grand, she loved peas and dumplings. And so, especially if I really want to, you know, answers from her for something, for whatever it is, I especially make her peas and dumplings. She also loved tomatoes with salt and pepper on them. So that's simple, to just put a plate out with salt and pepper, tomatoes on it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. My great-grand, he smoked a pipe. I have yet to get a pipe. I don't know where the hell to find a pipe at. I'll find one though. But I want to get one because I know that's something that he enjoyed in his spare time, was smoking a pipe. So I'd like to get that. But it's like, if you're not giving them the things that they like and they're simple, it just takes, it just takes a few minutes out of your day. If you're beginning, if you're not sure, if you don't want to, if you don't quite feel comfortable with setting up the altar, that's fine. But you do need to start to communicate with them. Just let them know that you are grateful for their protection you are grateful for the blessings that they put in your life. And that's how I began.
What I want you to understand is that Satan has a highly organized operation against you. That demons are not disorganized and they are not chaotic. When they come against you, they come in order. They come, the Bible said when Jesus got ready to cast the demons out, said, what is your name? The demon said, we are legions. Legions means we are regimented. We are organized. We march together. You must understand this, that when Satan marches, he marches in a spirit of unity. I would remind you that when they accused Jesus of casting out demons by the power of Beelzebub, he said, oh no, Satan has a kingdom, and Satan's kingdom is not divided. For a house divided against itself shall not stand. I would also remind you that from Genesis to Revelations, you will never see a demon fighting with another demon. You will never see a principality fighting with another principality. From Genesis to Revelations, you will never see a witch fighting against another witch. It's only when you look at church folk that you see preachers fighting against preachers, and churches fighting against churches, and Baptists fighting against Methodists, and Methodists fighting against principalities. It's because we don't understand order. Order. We got to get some order in the house of God. We got to get rid of every chaotic, wild spirit that's out of control, because disorder is a work of the enemy. God is not the author of confusion. Let everything be done decently and in order. Such three people say order in the house, order in the house, order. Get your rebellious hips out. We got to have order in this house. Whether the house is a church or whether the house is the house you live in, there has to come a point that you tell little Junior, if you're going to stay in this house, you got to get yourself together. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Can I go deeper? Not only is the enemy after regions, he's after houses. When I say the enemy's after houses, I don't mean that he's just after your address. He's after everything born out of your loins. When the enemy sends a curse, he either sends it to a city or he sends it to a house. The house of David, the house of Issachar, the house of the Johnsons, the house of the Jakeses, the house of the Longs, the house of the Wilsons. That's why you see certain spirits that run through certain houses. If you will look at your family tree closely, you will find that you are still fighting your grandmama's devil, your mama's devil. Grandma got a divorce, your mama got a divorce, all of your sisters got a divorce, and now your marriage is coming unglued. It's a spirit. Slap somebody and tell them it's a spirit. It's not about him having an affair. It's about a spirit that's come against your house. It's not about you making more money than him. It's a spirit that has come against your house. That's why you ought to be careful whose house you marry into, because some of you married into some spirits. You was happy till you got in that family. Now all hell is breaking loose because you married into a curse that was on that house. Your children come up with something that you ain't never thought of doing before, but somebody in your husband's family knows what's going on because you tied your children into a system that you don't even understand. Now you got to deal with a Johnson demon, a Jackson demon, a Richardson demon. You don't even know how to minister to the child because ain't nobody in your house ever come up with no mess like this, but some kind of way you tied them into a God. Lord have mercy. Who am I preaching to in here today? I want to cite some examples so you can understand clearly. Rebecca was a trickster and a con artist. She was a racketeer. She was a deceitful woman. She lied and connived with her own husband, manipulating her own children. Her uncle Laban was a trickster, a con artist, a liar, and a whoremonger. Her son Jacob was a trickster and a supplanter and a con man and a a rouseabout, because when the demons get in the family, it says, suffer us not to leave the region. I want to remind you of David, dysfunctional from Jesse on down, ostracized by his father. David comes up, yes, he was anointed, but he was dysfunctional. He was a whoremonger. He had a lust spirit. He had a demon that he couldn't get rid of. It came in through the rejection of his father, and the enemy saw a door open. It planted a seed in his life. David had such a lust problem that when he was an old man, they threw a young woman in the bed, and when he didn't touch her, they said the king is dead. No wonder then that his son Absalom was deceitful and treacherous, and Amnon raped his daughter Tamar, and Solomon had so many strange women that he lost control of the kingdom because there was a spirit in the house. Oh, I can't just spend time talking about Jacob and talking about David. What is this mess going on in your house? Your daughter acting crazy, coming up with stuff at 13 that you didn't run into until you were 25. But that spirit is getting desperate because you're getting in the house of God, and the devil is saying, if I don't get her quickly, I'm afraid that the Holy Ghost is going to run me out of town. I don't know who I'm preaching to this morning, but the Lord sent me into this city, and I'm after a demon. I'm not going to stop till I get it. I'm going to preach till everything in here begins to shake.